I'm Jeff Matlow. Welcome to the best leadership podcast ever. Hey there, and welcome back to the best leadership podcast ever, where every week we rethink your daily habits to help catapult your career. My name's Jeff Matlow. I'm a leadership coach. I help female executives and entrepreneurs overcome their self-doubt and become inspirational leaders. I'm also a 3-time entrepreneur, author, keynote speaker. Okay, enough about me. Today I want to talk to you about loyalty because, honestly, I don't think you understand loyalty. Let's imagine you have a young puppy. Your puppy is super cute. It even licks your face a lot, and that's always a happy feeling. Unfortunately, the puppy isn't quite house-trained. You keep the puppy in the living room, but the puppy constantly tears up the furniture and pees on the carpet. You soon get pretty darn frustrated with the puppy's behavior and the fact that it just won't listen to what you tell it to do. But hey, the puppy's cute, and there's that whole face-licking thing, so that's got to count for something, right? Eventually, you get so fed up with the puppy's behavior that you decide to do something about it. But there's no sense in doing anything too dramatic because, well, even though it doesn't do what you want it to, it's still cute as a button. So you move the puppy from the living room into the basement. That'll fix everything. Out of sight, out of mind. But we all know what happens. The puppy continues to pee on the floor. Eventually, the aroma not only bothers you, but it annoys the whole darn family. Plus, the puppy barks a lot. Nobody can concentrate. Oh, and it still tears things up, like the hot water heater ducts and all those other things in the basement that you don't want torn up. Maybe simply moving the puppy to another location wasn't the best tactic to fix the problem after all. So riddle me this, Rover. Why the heck does this scenario play out so darn often at so many companies? See, I once fired a salesperson for not hitting their baseline goal. They accused me of not being loyal. Here's the story. The salesperson had worked for me for 5 years, and during the first 3 years, he did well. He said he loved his job and didn't ever want to work for another company. But in the last 2 years, he didn't even bring in enough revenue to cover his salary. For those last 2 years, I did everything I could to try and help him be successful in his job, but it just didn't work. So I fired him. He didn't think I was being loyal by firing him. I suppose loyalty in his mind involved me continuing to pay his high salary, even though he couldn't meet the requirements of the job description. But my perspective was different. I felt like I was extremely loyal. After all, I spent 2 years trying to help him succeed rather than firing him immediately. It cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars to try and reboot his career. And it didn't work. This, oddly enough, brings us back to the puppy that you put in the basement. In my leadership coaching practice, I come across hundreds of companies that keep paying employees to do jobs even though the employee is unable to actually meet the basic requirements of the role. Sometimes the ineptitude is due to the changing needs of the company. That happens. Or sometimes it's the result of the employee being elevated to a role that exceeds their actual skill set. And, like in the case of my former salesperson, sometimes the employee simply just doesn't do a good job anymore. But regardless of the reason for the poor performance, many leaders believe that it is a display of loyalty to continue keeping people on the payroll even though they suck at their jobs. I don't think you understand loyalty. Rather than trying to mentor the employee or downright firing them, they simply move the failing employee out of their current position of incompetence into a completely different position where they're destined to also be incompetent. Let them be somebody else's problem is the thought that goes through the leader's head, as if those words are ones you would use to describe loyalty in the first place. It's the leadership equivalent of moving the puppy to the basement and expecting that it won't keep making a mess. Out of sight, out of mind is never a good growth strategy. And out of sight, out of mind does not show loyalty. And this finally brings me to my main point in this whole podcast. A company's purpose is to grow. Its purpose is to make money. A leader's job is to make decisions that fulfill that purpose. But there's a major mistake that many leaders make. They focus on finding jobs to fit people instead of finding people to fit jobs. Let me say that one again so you really understand it. A leader's responsibility is to find people to fit jobs, not to find jobs to fit people. Finding people to fit jobs is exactly what I did with my former salesperson. That employee no longer fit the job description, so instead of risking our growth potential by keeping them around, I replaced them with another person who could better fit the job. On the other hand, finding jobs to fit people is what you did with the puppy. It's mistaken loyalty. When you find a job to fit a person, you're just keeping problem employees on the payroll because you're scared to get rid of them. If you're getting frustrated with an employee because they can't do their job effectively, I'll bet all the bananas in Bolivia that the employee is frustrated with their job as well, and probably with you. So stop putting the proverbial puppy in the proverbial basement. Take some time and mentor the employees who need support. Help them succeed. That is what loyalty means. And hey, if your teachings don't work, I'm sure another company will adopt them. They can pee on somebody else's floor. If you like this, please give it 5 stars and please click subscribe so you don't miss an episode. If there's anything I can do to help with the growth of your career, reach out to me, leadership@bytitleonly.com. Thanks for listening. I appreciate you. We'll talk next time.